Narcissistic abuse is so screwed up that most people have no idea what it is. They think it's just verbal abuse or emotional abuse or a person being a jerk. It is so much more than that. If we're talking about pathological NPD, we are talking about a person so distorted in delusion that they exist within what's called a pathological grandiose self, a false self. Now, this doesn't just protect them, but it damages people outside of this protective barrier or bubble, where anything that is high achievement, high status, feel good, perfect, gets to stay within this bubble. Anything negative gets projected out, and a narcissist is exclusively pure projection. Now, there's many problems with this. One is intermittent reinforcement, where the narcissist conditions the victim to have such low expectations, to have almost no needs, or actually no needs of their own ever met, by conditioning them where even a little bit of kindness here and there keeps them going because it feels euphoric, because they've been depleted and abused and confused to such an extreme level. Now, also, targets don't know these phenomena and mechanics like splitting. So as soon as they point out the truth, that is an insult to the narcissist's delusional reality. And so they'll split them into a persecutory, all bad object. And from there, the narcissist experiences themselves as the victim and yet is the abuser, confusing the victim even more. Now, the worst phenomenon is something called projective identification, because projective identification is when the narcissist projects, which they're exclusively projection, the victim or target will onboard that as their own. They will misattribute these feelings, emotions, behaviors, traits as coming from within them. Now, this happens over time and conditions them to lose a very sense of self, to no longer trust their intuitions, their instincts, or anything without seeking validation from the narcissist, who is the least qualified seer of reality that lives perpetually in delusion. There's actually a syndrome called Narcissistic Victim Syndrome that psychologists are trying to get added to the DSM as an actual clinical term, because narcissistic abuse affects you on an emotional, psychological, and physical level. It damages things like your hippocampus, or it degrades the cells, and that's your logic, memory, clarity. That's why victims or targets often feel that they have brain fog, internal brain fog. Things that were easy for them have become hard. A sense of self has dissipated, and they've been meticulously isolated and alienated from their support network. So they're existing in this vacuum of emptiness, essentially trading places with the narcissist. And that the narcissist wants to trade places. They want to suck you out to be empty like them, onboard your traits, characteristics, your life as a copycat, and then discard you to try to become their own person from a stage of development that they missed in childhood.